Welcome to Thinking on Chain, the podcast that unchains your thinking. This is the space where ideas stretch, breathe, and break free from the ordinary. I'm your host, Byron. If you would like to read today's essay or download a PDF version, you will find it at my website, thinkingonchain.com. I am grateful you have decided to join me. The title of today's essay is How Did We Get Here? How did we get here? The question returns like a tide, persistent, unembarrassed by repetition. Each time we ask it, a chorus of explanations rises to meet us: histories, excuses, theories, stories. Yet, most of them are only mirrors reflecting what we already believe. They comfort more than they clarify. For the truer answers, the ones that unsettle, the ones that shift the ground beneath us, rarely arrive on demand. They wait in the places we resist looking. They speak in a language we have not yet learned to hear. What is worse is this: not only do we often arrive at the wrong answers, we arrive at the simplest ones. We cling to them because they spare us from complexity, from the slow, uncomfortable work of seeing clearly. A simple answer is a shelter built too quickly. It keeps out the wind, but it also blocks the horizon. Therefore, we mistake convenience for truth and clarity for whatever quiets our anxiety first. The real answers, the ones that demand something of us, wait patiently beyond the walls we build. So when we ask ourselves, how did we get here? We slip easily into the temptation of reduction. We compress the complexity of our becoming into a single circumstance, a single cause, a single decision, one single event of the past. One moment in our history becomes the scapegoat for everything that followed, where we are today. It is simpler that way, to believe that a single event explains the whole arc of our arrival. But our lives are not shaped by solitary moments, they are shaped by convergences, by countless small forces moving quietly beneath our awareness, by choices we barely notice making us. To name only one cause is to mistake the shadow for the body that casts it. Many papers have been written to account for our financial, relational, political, emotional, mental, or physical condition. Whole disciplines have been built around the promise of explanation. Yet, even these efforts, rigorous as they appear, often fall into the same trap: the seduction of oversimplification. They search for the single variable, the decisive moment, the clean narrative thread that will make the chaos intelligible. But human life resists such compression. Our condition is not the product of one force, but of many: interwoven histories, inherited structures, forgotten choices, and the quiet accumulations of days we barely remember living. To reduce all of that to one cause is not analysis. It is a kind of wishful thinking disguised as scholarship. I acknowledge that some decisions or events in our past carry tremendous force, turning points that redirect the entire trajectory of a life. A single choice, a single encounter, a single rupture can indeed send us down a path we never anticipated. So, a major event may indeed redirect our course. It can jolt us awake, force a reckoning, yet it is never the whole story of how we arrived here. A single turning point is only one bright star in a vast constellation of influences. The dramatic event may shine the brightest, but it does not illuminate the entire sky. Our lives are shaped not by one star, but by the entire pattern they form together. I also recognize that some of the forces that shaped us were never ours to choose. A few moments arrive like weather, sudden, unbidden, indifferent to our readiness: a loss, an upheaval, a chance encounter, a door closing or opening at the wrong or right time. These are the events that reroute a life without asking permission, the currents that sweep us into versions of ourselves we never planned to become. But even as we honor these turning points, it is worth remembering that they are the exceptions, not the architecture. Most of who we are is not sculpted by cosmic interference, but by the quiet, persistent choices we make when no one is watching. The universe may nudge us, but it rarely completes the journey on our behalf. How did we get here? By an immense accumulation of events, some shaped by our own hands, others delivered by the strange conspiracies of the universe. Our lives are not the product of a single cause, but the connections of countless moments, deliberate and accidental, linked over time until they form a vast architecture of influences stretching behind us. Every step, every hesitation, every accident, every decision made, and every decision not made, every inherited pattern, and every forgotten turning has contributed to the place we now stand. To pretend otherwise is to flatten the richness of our own becoming. Our lives are guided by countless, almost imperceptible adjustments, minor turns of the steering wheel we barely remember making. Some were deliberate, others instinctive, many so subtle they pass beneath our awareness entirely. Yet each of these small corrections exerted a force on our trajectory. Individually, they seem insignificant. Collectively, they shape the very path we walk now. What feels like a straight line in memory was, in truth, a long series of quiet, continuous recalibrations. So then the question arises, how do we change direction? Sometimes the shift comes through many small, deliberate adjustments, tiny recalibrations of habit, attention, or intention. These changes are quiet, almost unremarkable, yet over time they accumulate into a new trajectory. Other times, the change arrives violently, a sudden collision with reality, a rupture that forces us off the path we thought we were following, a life strike that leaves no option but to turn, one through patience and resistance, the other through shock and necessity. But in either case, direction is not changed by a single moment alone. It is shaped by how we respond to the moment and by the countless adjustments that follow. In healthcare, in financial markets, in organizations, in societies, and even within the intimate terrain of our own lives, the systems we inhabit are already in motion. They move with the weight of accumulated momentum that took years, decades, or in some cases, centuries to build. Like an enormous train heading either toward its destination or toward a devastating wreck. Once a system is in motion, changing its direction is never simple. It may require countless small corrections, subtle shifts in practice, policy, or perception. These adjustments are slow, often invisible, yet they gradually bend the trajectory. At other times, change comes only through disruption, a derailment, a shock, a collision with reality powerful enough to counter the very forces that set the machine in motion. Whether through patient recalibration or sudden impact, the direction of a system is altered only by forces equal to or greater than the ones that shaped its original path. Momentum is not merely physical, it is historical, cultural, emotional, and structural. To redirect it is to reckon with everything that has carried it forward. Is this possible? Only if we are willing to commit to one of two paths. We can choose the slow path, the long discipline of small, sustained adjustments, the quiet work of redirecting momentum grain by grain. This path demands patience, humility, and endurance. It asks us to change not through spectacle, but through steady, almost invisible acts of intention. Or we can brace for the sudden impact, the rupture that forces transformation upon us, A crash can break what needed breaking, strip away illusions, and leave us standing in the raw truth of our condition. If we survive it, we may emerge stronger, wiser, more awake to the forces that once carried us blindly forward. Both paths are real, both require courage, and neither guarantees ease. But change becomes possible the moment we stop pretending that momentum alone will deliver us somewhere new. A third path is to wait, to hope, to pray, to trust that some unseen mercy will rearrange our lives on our behalf, to close our eyes and hope that when we open them, all will be well. There is a certain innocence in that posture, a longing for the world to change without demanding anything of us. But miracles, when they come, are gifts, not strategies. They are too rare to build a life upon. The alternative is harder but truer, to take our destiny into our own hands, to accept that while the universe may occasionally intervene, it is our choices, our courage, and our willingness to act that shape the greater part of our becoming. Waiting may soothe us, but only action transforms us. Only action has the power to draw us toward the selves we imagine. Vision may illuminate the path, but it is movement, relentless, constant, unwavering, courageous, that reshapes us. We do not become by dreaming alone. We become by stepping into the world and letting our choices carve the contours of who we are. The change. Thank you.